Hello. This video is what an American thinks about Poland. No wait, not Poland, I already did that video. This video is what an American thinks about Lithuania. But I'll add a little bit of Poland in there too, because I already did one Poland. Warsaw definitely brought me up on Poland. Made me think Poland is more developed than I thought it was before. All the other countries, cities in Poland are like poor, but Warsaw was not. Warsaw was like a real city, real big, good infrastructure. Okay, so that's that. What an American thinks about Lithuania. I was only in Lithuania one day, so I don't know much about Lithuania. I didn't meet a single Lithuanian who speaks English. Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia are the three Baltic countries and western countries that were part of the USSR. But they're really not Russian. They just got taken over by Russia. But I think they use their own language. Well, yeah, they use their own language, just like in all those different Baltic city countries. But Lithuania was the biggest country in Europe back in the late 1200s. It was they kind of teamed up with the Polish, and they had land all the way down into Ukraine and all of the Baltics, and then they had their country chipped away after that. And nowadays they're really into basketball. This is what I heard on Wikipedia. But my impressions of Lithuania. Nobody speaks English. It's one thing I noticed looking out of the train, out in the buildings, is that the buildings are very. I felt like I was back in Scandinavia. The architecture wasn't like it was in like Mediterranean. The buildings were more steep like this, I guess, for the snow. They were painted better. They had like metal roofs, made out of wood instead of brick, and a lot of fields, green fields. I just had a feeling I was like in Scandinavia. Vilnius is a really pretty city, but it's really quiet. It's really sleepy. It was like the second sleepiest city I've ever been to. As far as there not being any traffic at all, like literally. I can't remember if it was a Sunday or not. I think it was a Sunday. But there was no traffic anywhere. But there were a lot of tourists there. It did seem like a touristy place. I saw a lot of people walking around looking at tourist maps and stuff. They have a pretty big river going through it, and because it was so quiet, it seemed really peaceful. But maybe too peaceful, like boring peaceful. YouTube says it has the highest murder rate and suicide rate of anywhere in the UU. But they were the fastest growing country in the EU for a certain time. All three of those Baltic states were the fastest growing, so I guess they would take turns being the fastest growing. But then it was the hardest hit, and then it was the hardest shrinking economy, I think, of last year. So maybe that's why the statistics were like that. But the city itself is really pretty because they have this like river going through it that's pretty big. And then this nice creek that goes through it too. That's surrounded by, on one side, by like greenery and people hanging out, sunbathing, and it sounded like a lot of the younger people could speak English, but the older people didn't seem like they could speak English. These three older women at my hostel, they were like old ladies. One of them didn't speak English at all. The other one spoke a little bit of English, and then the third one didn't speak any English at all. All she said to me was, "Do you stay or dream?" She goes, "Do you stay or dream?" I was like, what? Oh, not remain. So I don't think she could speak English. She could just say those two words. But the city, they have this nice hill next to a river, the big river and the little river, with this big like little tower on the top of it. I don't know, like 30 meters high, that I could do the panorama of the city out from. And the city's not a big city. It's not one of the big capital cities. It's one of the small capital cities. Quite small, actually. It had some big buildings in the center part, and then it was totally dead, though. No people at all. When I was at the base of those big buildings, I didn't see a single person. The other really sleepy city, maybe even sleepier than Vilnius, was Paraimbo. Is that what you... The capital of Paraguay was like that. No traffic. Which wasn't a big capital city either. But everything was really green there in Lithuania. I got myself into trouble, though, a little bit, trying to leave from the little castle. I went down a trail, and then I got funneled into some, like, area where I had to end up carrying my bike up a steep hill and over the fence. Something that happens in these poor countries, they haven't figured out how to funnel people right, you know. People like me, I explore. When I go back, I don't want to take the same trail that I took up to the top of the castle. I'll go down the other trail. But then the trail peters and gets smaller and smaller, and then you're screwed, and you have to, like, do the Rambo out of there. But maybe that has to do with money, I don't know. But anyways, they had this one really cool thing about Lithuania that I hadn't seen anywhere else, is they had some kind of show. It was like, showing their tradition. There were these people, they marched up, 4 people, a man and a woman, 2 guys playing like flute and drums. It was like, it was like back in the Middle Ages, you know, like announcing the arrival of the king, and they had these traditional costumes on, and then this woman like playing a flute, and then this guy comes out this scroll, and he reads something really long in Lithuanian, and then they march off. And all of the tourists were watching, and they clap, and some touristy thing in Central Square, but that was cool. I hadn't seen that anywhere else. Maybe he was reading something about telling some, like, welcome to our country, or something like that. But as far as the internet goes, like, McDonald's had internet. And like McDonald's has internet everywhere, so I love McDonald's. So I see McDonald's, I gotta go, oh, internet, I'm going there. But everywhere else, like if you want to do internet, like you go in and you have to like log in, like it's the country internet. Like they have Wi-Fi set up in like, well, I guess certain like restaurants, for example, this one restaurant I was in. But then you log in and it's like you still have to pay. And even the women at the hostel, it was the same thing. But they gave me some paper that didn't make no sense, and I couldn't write it. I couldn't get it to work when I got into the page on the internet for my Wi-Fi with my computer, and they couldn't explain it to me because they didn't know English, and they didn't even know how to do it. They probably never even used the internet. They seemed really basic ladies. So, and that's what I saw in the restaurant, so I don't know what the deal with that was. Kind of a weird internet system. Like you can get it anywhere, but you have to have your own account that you pay or something. But I took the train out of there. The bus out of there. You take the bus between all the places in the Baltics. And I had internet on the bus. Had my own table. Had my own electrical outlet. Free refills of 10 different kinds of coffee. It was really cool. So I guess that's what an American thinks about Lithuania. Not that, pretty simple, pretty basic place, peaceful. Pretty place though. It's a hilly city. Not that hilly though. It's got hills. and really peaceful and quiet. Okay, there you go.